There is a shaking coming, not just in the world, but in you. And it won't come in the way you expect. It won't look like thunder and lightning. It will come through disappointment. It will come through silence. It will come through moments where everything you thought was certain suddenly feels like sand. At the end of this July, a door is opening in the spiritual realm, and only those who are awake will be able to walk through it. You, young man, you've been numbing. You've been drowning your purpose in distractions. You've been fighting battles in your mind that no one sees. You've been craving meaning while pretending you're fine. But the truth is you're starving. Starving for truth. Starving for something or a life that doesn't just look strong, but feels strong. Rooted. Solid. Whole. You were not born to chase women who don't see you. You were not made to beg for validation from a world that has forgotten God. You were created in the image of fire to stand tall, lead with humility, and walk in a strength that doesn't come from the gym or a bank account, but from the Spirit of God Himself. The shaking that's coming will reveal the cracks in every man who's been faking strength. But for the ones who wake up, this will be the beginning, not the end. We've all had those moments where everything in your life feels like it's falling apart. The relationship ends. Friends you trusted go silent. You wake up feeling like you don't even recognize the man in the mirror. You wonder, why is everything shaking around me? Let me tell you something hard but true sometimes. The shaking is the mercy. Yeah, you heard that right. The breakdown is not the curse. It's the rescue. You see, most of us pray for blessing, for success, for love. But what happens when we build our lives on things that cannot hold us? On a woman who doesn't respect us, on a job that drains our soul, on validation from strangers online. It feels good at first until it doesn't. Until one day everything starts to fall. And that's when you either collapse or you wake up. You think God's punishing you because things aren't going your way. No, He's saving you. He's saying, I can't let you keep building on this foundation. It's too shallow. It's not you. It's not what I made you for. That's what the shaking is. It's not wrath, it's realignment. And it hurts. Growth always hurts. But staying stuck in who you're not, that pain is worse. That kind of pain will rot you from the inside out. You know what I'm talking about? It's the numbness, the scrolling, the fake smiles, the hookups that leave you emptier than before. What if, instead of resisting the shaking, you leaned into it? What if you saw it for what it is? Your moment of divine interruption. The pain you feel right now might be the very thing that sets you free from the life that was never yours to live in the first place. You're not losing yourself. You're shedding what never belonged. You're being stripped for shame, but for strength. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but discomfort is the birthplace of men who change the world, who rise from ashes, who lead. So if your world is shaking right now, take a breath and then say thank you. Because God is not letting you settle. He's not letting you stay small. He's calling you home, to purpose, to truth, to you. And that is mercy. Let's cut through the noise for a second. That emptiness you feel, that fog in your mind, that hollow ache in your chest, that voice that whispers at 2 a.m. You're not enough. She left because of you. You'll never get it right. It's not just emotion. It's not just loneliness. It's not just life being hard. It's war. You're in a battle, and you didn't even realize it. Most men walk through this life thinking it's just about money, status, women, or having some kind of edge. If I just get in shape, if I just get that promotion, if I just get her to love me, then I'll feel okay. But they still wake up feeling empty, still feel weak in their quiet moments, still question who they are. Why? Because the battle isn't physical. It's not even emotional. It's spiritual. You're not just being distracted. You're being targeted. The enemy doesn't want to destroy you with bombs. He wants to destroy you with numbness, with comparison, with lust, with passive scrolling and synthetic validation, with dopamine loops that make you feel like a man for 5 seconds before plunging you back into self-hatred. Because if he can keep you chasing fake pleasure, he'll keep you from finding real purpose. And that's the most dangerous place for a man to be. Not dead, but disconnected. You don't need another hookup. You don't need another motivational quote. You need to wake up and realize what's really happening. This isn't about your ex. This isn't about that job you didn't get. This isn't about getting over it. This is about your soul. You were born for truth, for fire, for clarity. You were created to lead with conviction, to build, to carry weight. But that kind of strength only comes when your spirit is alive. And right now, yours has been under attack. The anxiety, the insecurity, the procrastination, the self-sabotage. All of it is a symptom of a deeper war. So if you want to heal, if you want to rise, stop looking outward. Look inward. You don't win a spiritual war with surface-level fixes. You win it when you stop being casual with your soul. When you stop numbing and start noticing. When you fight not for likes, but for light. Because once you understand this battle is spiritual, you stop wasting your strength on things that don't matter and start fighting for the things that do. Let's talk about masculinity. Real masculinity. Because somewhere along the way, we got sold a lie. We were told that being a man is about dominance, about power, about sleeping with more women, showing less emotion, never asking for help, and acting like nothing touches you. But let me ask you something. If that's working so well, why are so many men miserable? Why are so many of you out here with six-packs and empty hearts, with followers on social media, but not a single soul you can be vulnerable with? Why are you winning on paper, but losing in life? Because masculinity without God is hollow. You can build muscle. You can wear the watch. You can drive the car, get the money, master the cold approach, have the smoothest lines. But without God, you're still going to feel lost. Because true masculinity is about what you control. It's about what you carry. A real man carries responsibility. He carries integrity. He carries honor. You can't outsource that. You can't fake it. And you can't manufacture it by copying alpha influencers online who scream about dominance while hiding behind wounds they've never healed. You want to know the truth. The strongest man that ever walked this earth didn't flaunt his power. He surrendered it. He held the broken. He wept. He bled. His name was Jesus. And he didn't dominate the world. He redeemed it. That's not weakness. That's masculinity on fire. Because here's the thing, if your version of manhood makes you colder, harder, and more selfish, it's not manhood. It's just your ego in disguise. And it will betray you the moment the real storms hit. When your heart breaks, when your plans fall apart, when no one's clapping for you anymore. That's when the shallow stuff dies. And all you've got left is your foundation. And if your foundation isn't built on something bigger than you, it'll crack. Every time. So what do? You rebuild. You root yourself in something eternal. You stop chasing image and start chasing impact. You let God teach you how to be the kind of man this world desperately needs. Not louder, but deeper, not harder. But holier, not dominant, but dangerously devoted to truth. Because that's the kind of masculinity that doesn't crumble. It conquers. There's a moment, maybe you've already lived it, where everything you gave your heart to walks away. Where the woman you thought would stay disappears. Where the one person who saw you, who held you, who made you believe you were finally enough, lets go. And you feel like you're dying inside. You stop eating. You stop trusting. You stop believing in the idea that love can be safe, that you can be safe. But I need to tell you something. And I want you to hear me like your life depends on it. You are not heartbroken. You are being rebuilt. The breaking of your heart is not your ruin. It's your refining. You were never meant to build your identity on someone else's attention. You were never supposed to place your worth in someone else's approval. But we all do it. We find someone who makes us feel seen, and we start orbiting our entire life around them. And then when they leave, we think we're destroyed. But what's really happening is something deeper. God is reaching into your heart, removing the idol, and saying, "Son, I love you too much to let you keep building your life around what can't carry you." You see, heartbreak feels like death. But sometimes, death is exactly what's needed for resurrection. I'm not here to minimize your pain. You were vulnerable. You were open. And maybe she walked away from something real. Maybe she didn't even know what she was giving up. But the truth is, she wasn't your foundation, and now you finally get to see that. And yeah, the silence is loud. The bed is cold. The future feels uncertain. But in that wilderness, God does his best work. In that space where she no longer sees you, he still does. And he's not just seeing the broken version of you. He's seeing the man who's going to rise from this. The man who's going to walk out of the ashes with new strength, new standards, new vision, but wiser. Not just guarded, but grounded. So don't let heartbreak trick you into thinking you've been abandoned. You're being realigned. You're being rebuilt. You're being reclaimed by the one who loved you first. This isn't your ending. Let's talk about the silence. The space no one sees. That room where the lights are off, the phone is quiet, and you're left sitting with just you. No one's texting. No one's calling. And it feels like the whole world forgot you even exist. That feeling. That achy in your chest when you're alone. And it's just you and your thoughts. That's not weakness. That's a calling. You think loneliness means something's wrong with you. It means something is right because that emptiness, that deep aching quiet, it's where boys stop pretending and men start becoming. You see, God never forms a man in the crowd. He forms him in the cave. He doesn't call him in the applause. He calls him in the absence. It's in the loneliness where you learn how to sit with your own soul. It's where you stop chasing noise to avoid the truth. It's where you start asking the real questions. What do they think of me? But am I when no one's watching? And that's when everything shifts. Because in that place of isolation, distractions fall away. The masks drop. The roles fade. And all that's left is you. The man you are when no one's clapping, no one's flirting, no one's affirming. And that is the man God wants to meet. Listen to me. Loneliness doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're being set apart, because God doesn't give influence to men who can't handle isolation. He doesn't give power to men who still need permission. He doesn't give purpose to men who are still addicted to being seen. He gives it to the man who learned how to be alone without losing himself. So maybe you're in a lonely season right now. Maybe everyone you thought would be there isn't. Maybe you walk into rooms and feel invisible. Maybe you post and no one responds. Maybe you reach out and feel ignored. Don't let that pain fool you into thinking God is absent. He's closer than ever. He's stripping away your need to be validated by people so he can validate you with purpose. He's calling you out of the crowd so he can call you into your calling. So the next time you feel that silence, don't curse it. Step into it. Because the man who learns to thrive alone is the man God can trust to lead many. Let's get honest. Most men didn't grow up with a real father. Maybe he left. Maybe he was there but emotionally absent. Maybe he was angry, abusive, inconsistent, or maybe he was just silent. And whether you admit it or not, that left a hole in you. A voice you never heard you. I'm proud of you. A hand you never felt steady, protective. A presence you never knew you. The kind that made you feel safe enough to become who you really are. So, what did you do? You learned to perform, to achieve, to survive. You taught yourself how to man up, how to not cry, how to numb the pain, how to carry things way heavier than your soul was ready for. You built this exterior, tough, successful, detached, and everyone around you calls you strong. But you still feel like a scared little boy inside. And here's the truth. No amount of success will ever heal a father wound. That emptiness, that striving, that fear of not being enough unless you're doing something impressive. It's all pointing to one thing. You don't just need a strategy. You need a father. Not just any father, a perfect one. A God who doesn't leave. A God who doesn't yell or shame. A God who doesn't hand you love as a reward, but gives it because it's who he is. But here's the twist. You have to let him. You have to let God father you. That means surrendering the act. It means letting yourself feel again. It means forgiving your earthly dad, not because he deserves it, but because you deserve peace. It means letting your guard down long enough for God to walk in and say, "Son, I see you. I've always seen you." You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to earn anything. I'm not here to use you. I'm here to heal you. That kind of love wrecks you in the best way. It's the love that anchors your identity. The kind that teaches you how to be a man not from fear, but from freedom. So maybe for the first time in your life, you stop chasing love and you let yourself be loved. Because once God becomes your father, You stop living like an orphan and start walking like a son. Listen to me. If something inside you is stirring right now, if your chest is tight, your throat is heavy, your eyes are burning because you felt this, it's not just a video. That's your spirit trying to breathe again. That's your soul waking up. That's the boy inside you finally meeting the man you're becoming. You don't have to keep pretending. You don't have to keep chasing approval. You don't have to keep wondering if you're enough. Because you are. And not because the world said so, but because God does. And He doesn't change His mind about you, even when you do. So here's what I want you to do. Not for me, for you. Drop a comment and say what hit you the hardest. Say what you're letting go of. Say what you're stepping into. Speak it out loud, not just for yourself, but for the next man reading it who needs courage. Share this with a brother who's struggling, someone who acts strong, but cries in silence when no one's watching. He needs this truth just as much as you did. Like this video if it woke something up in you, because that tells the algorithm to push this message to more men who feel alone and unseen. And subscribe, not for entertainment, not for dopamine, but because this space is different. This is where men rise. This is where warriors wake up. This is where the broken find honor again. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. And from there, God can build anything. You are not lost. And your story isn't over. It's just getting started.